The big space station floated quietly in the dark between the stars. Its name was Harmony Point. Many alien races came here to talk and make deals. Today was special. Humans from Earth had come for the first time to meet the Galactic Concord. The humans wanted peace and trade. They hoped to show they belonged among the older races. Ethan Brooks stood with the human team. He was not the leader. He was just an engineer. His job was to fix things and understand machines. Ethan was tall but not too tall. He had short brown hair and calm blue eyes. He wore a simple gray uniform with the Earthship patch on his shoulder. The ship was called Aurora Dawn. Ethan liked quiet work. He did not like big talks or crowds. The meeting room was wide and bright. Soft blue light came from the walls. A long table stood in the middle. Chairs floated a little above the floor. Humans sat on one side. On the other side sat aliens from different worlds. The most important one was Princess Lyra Voss from the Vexari Empire. Lyra was very tall. She stood more than 7 feet high. Her skin shone like oil on water. Blue, green, and purple colors moved slowly across it. Her eyes were bright silver. Sharp crystal spikes grew from her shoulders and head like a crown. She wore a long robe made of thin metal threads that sparkled. 2 guards stood behind her. They were also Vexari, but smaller and quieter. The human captain started the talk. His name was Captain Daniel Hayes. He spoke in a clear voice. "We come in peace. Earth wants friends in the galaxy. We bring ideas, science, and trade." Princess Lyra looked at them. Her silver eyes moved slowly over each human face. When she saw Ethan, she stopped. A small smile came to her lips. It was not a friendly smile. She spoke. Her voice was smooth but cold, like wind over ice. "Peace, friends, how sweet. But look at you, small bodies, soft skin. No natural armor. No inner light. Your kind has barely left your little star, and yet you sit here like equals." Some aliens at the table laughed quietly. Others just watched. Captain Hayes stayed calm. "We may be new, but we learn fast. Our ships use fusion power. We build strong machines." Lyra turned her head to Ethan. "You, the quiet one in the back. You look like the one who fixes things. Tell me about this fusion." Ethan stood up slowly. He felt all eyes on him. He cleared his throat. "Fusion is when we join atoms to make energy. It is clean. It is strong. We use it to fly between stars. Our reactors are small, but very safe." Lyra laughed. The sound was sharp and loud. Her guards laughed too. "Small but safe? How cute. Our children play with better power when they are young. Your toys are nothing. A soft creature like you thinks he understands true power? You are like insects trying to talk to gods." More laughter came from the alien side. Even some neutral aliens smiled. Ethan's face stayed calm. Inside, he felt heat in his chest. He did not like being called weak. But he knew words would not change her mind. He sat down again. Captain Hayes spoke. "We do not want to fight. We want to share knowledge." Lyra waved her hand. The crystals on her fingers caught the light. "Share. You have nothing we need. Your ships are slow. Your weapons are weak. Your minds are simple. The Vexari Empire has ruled for thousands of years. We control stars. We shape worlds. What can you give us?" She leaned forward. Her silver eyes locked on Ethan again. "Tell me, human engineer, what makes you think you belong here? Look at me. My people are born with power in our blood. We feel the energy of the universe. We command it. You push buttons and hope." He spoke quietly. "We survive. That is our power. Earth is hard. Storms, cold, heat, war. We keep going. We fix what breaks. We build what we need." Lyra laughed again. This time it was louder. Survive, like rats in the dark? That is not power. That is pity. She stood up. Her robe flowed like liquid metal. This meeting is over. The Galactic Concord will decide soon. But know this, humans are not ready. You are too small, too weak. Go back to your tiny planet. She turned to leave. Her guards followed. As she passed Ethan, she stopped for a second. She looked down at him. Do not dream too big, little engineer. Dreams break easily for your kind. Then she walked away. The door slid shut behind her. The human team was quiet. Captain Hayes put a hand on Ethan's shoulder. You did well. Do not let her words hurt you. Ethan nodded. I am fine. But he was not fine. He felt something inside him move. Not yet. It was something deeper, like a door that had been closed for a long time. He pushed the feeling down. The team went back to the Aurora Dawn. The ship was docked at the station. It was not big like alien ships. It looked plain. But inside, it was full of human work. Wires, tools, screens. Ethan went straight to the engineering bay. He liked it there. Machines did not judge. He sat at his workbench. He opened a panel on a small drone. The drone helped fix the ship. Ethan started to work. His hands moved fast. He thought about Lyra's words. Soft creature, little engineer. He shook his head. Words were just words. Outside the window he saw the stars. They looked the same as from Earth. Far, cold, beautiful. Ethan worked late. Most of the team slept, but he could not sleep. Something felt wrong. The station's lights flickered once, then again. He checked the monitors. A problem? Just a small power wave. He kept working. Hours later, an alarm sounded. Not on the ship, on the station. A voice came over the speakers. Warning, asteroid field approaching. High velocity. Impact risk high. Ethan stood up fast. He ran to the bridge. Captain Hayes was there. Ethan, we need you in engineering. The station's shields are not holding well. Ethan nodded. He went back down. In the hall, he saw some Vexari guards. They looked worried. One spoke into a device. The princess is safe, but the shields fail. Ethan passed them. He did not stop. In the engineering bay of the station, aliens worked hard. Their tools glowed, but the shields still dropped. Ethan looked at the screens. The asteroids were many, fast, heavy. He thought of something. Humans knew asteroids. They had hit Earth before. They built things to push them away. Can I help? The alien looked at him like he was dirt. Stay away, human. This is advanced work. Ethan did not argue. He found an empty console. He started typing. He had an idea. He sent a message to his ship. Send the repair drones, all of them. The drones came. Small, fast, human-made. Ethan worked. He linked the drones to the station's power. He made a simple net. Not energy shields, something else. Electromagnetic pulse, like a big magnet push. The asteroids came closer. Lyra stood in the control room. She watched the screens. Her face was tight. Shields at 30%, someone said. She looked angry. Fix it. Then she saw Ethan on a lower screen. He was alone, working fast. She laughed softly. Look at the little human, playing with toys while we fail. But her laugh was not so sure now. The first asteroids hit. The station shook. Ethan pressed the button. A wave went out, not from the station, from the drones. They flew around the rocks, pushed them, turned them. One by one, the asteroids missed. The shaking stopped. Silence came. Then cheers from humans. Lyra stared at the screen. The human engineer had done it. She turned away. Her silver eyes were narrow. Dumb luck, she said. But deep inside, she felt something new. Doubt. Ethan wiped sweat from his face. He looked up at the camera. He knew she was watching. He did not smile. He just went back to work. The door was open now. Something inside him was waking up. The Harmony Point station was quiet again after the asteroids passed. Lights came back to normal. People walked in the halls, but everyone talked in low voices. They remembered the shaking. They remembered how close death came. Ethan Brooks returned to the Aurora Dawn. His uniform was dirty from work. His hands had small cuts from sharp metal. He did not care. He sat in the engineering bay and cleaned his tools. The small drones rested on the table. They looked tired too. Captain Daniel Hayes came in. He looked serious but proud. "You saved the station, Ethan. The whole crew knows it." Ethan shook his head. It was just a quick fix. Anyone could do it. "Not anyone," the captain said. "The Vexari shields failed. Their best people could not stop it. You did with our old drones." Ethan looked at the floor. "I used what we had. Humans always do that." The captain smiled a little. "Rest now. Tomorrow we talk more with the Concord. They want to thank us." Ethan nodded, but he did not feel like resting. Something inside him felt strange, like a small fire that would not go out. He pushed it away and went to his small room. He lay on the bed. Sleep came slow. On the other side of the station, Princess Lyra Voss sat in her private room. It was big and beautiful. Walls glowed soft purple. A large window showed the stars. She stood alone. Her guards waited outside. She touched a small crystal on her neck. It was part of the Nexus core. The core was old. It belonged to her family for many generations. It gave power to Vexari royals. It made their minds strong. It let them control energy. It let them feel the thoughts of others sometimes. Lyra closed her eyes. She tried to feel the core. It answered, but the feeling was weak, like something blocked it. She opened her eyes fast. "What is this?" She tried again. Nothing. Like it listened to someone else. Anger came to her face. She walked to the window. She saw the small human ship docked far below. Aurora Dawn. Ugly, plain, weak. "That human," she said. "The engineer." She remembered his calm face when she laughed at him. He did not shout. He did not run. He just looked back. And then he saved the station. Lyra felt cold inside. She did not like that feeling. A guard knocked. "Princess, the Concord calls. They want a new meeting. They say humans showed value." Lyra turned. Value? They used tricks, nothing more. But she went. She had to. The meeting room was the same, but now humans sat taller. Aliens looked at them different. Not with laughs, with questions. The Concord leader was an old alien from a race called the Zoran. His name was Kale. He had 4 arms and soft green skin. "We thank the humans," Kale said. "The station stands because of you." Captain Hayes spoke. "That is all." Kale looked at Ethan. "You, engineer. Your method was different. Tell us more." Ethan stood. "We made a pulse net. Drones pushed the rocks away. Simple force. No fancy shields." Some aliens nodded. Others whispered. Lyra spoke. Her voice was sharp. "It was luck. One time. Do not make it big." Kale looked at her. "Luck or skill, it worked. The Concord will remember." Lyra's silver eyes flashed. She said nothing more. After the meeting, the station had repairs. Many parts were broken. Power lines, air systems, walls cracked. Ethan offered help. The Vexari said no at first, but the Concord ordered everyone to work together. Ethan went to the main repair area. Big machines stood there. Alien workers used glowing tools. They moved slow, careful. Ethan brought his toolbox. He looked at a broken wall panel. Wires hung out. Sparks jumped. A Vexari technician stood near. Tall, blue skin, no crystals. Just a worker. "Stay back, human," he said. "This is delicate." Ethan looked at the wires. I can fix it fast. The technician laughed. You, with your metal sticks? Ethan did not answer. He started work. He pulled old wires, connected new ones, used tape, used solder. Simple things. The technician watched, at first angry, then quiet. In 10 minutes, the panel worked. Lights came on. Air flowed better. The technician stared. How? Ethan wiped his hands. We fix things every day on Earth. Ships break, houses break. We learn. More Vexari came. They watched Ethan. Some asked questions. He answered simple. Princess Lyra came to see. She stood far, her guards around her. She saw Ethan work. Fast, sure, no fear. She felt the core again. It moved, not to her, to him. She stepped closer. Ethan looked up. He saw her. She spoke. You think this makes you strong? It makes the station safe. That is enough. Lyra came near, too near. Her shadow covered him. You touched nothing great. You played with broken toys. Ethan stood straight. He was shorter than her, but he looked in her eyes. We use what we have. You have power. We have work. Lyra smiled cold. Work is for servants. Ethan said nothing. He turned back to the machine. Lyra felt something pull inside her. The core. It wanted to go, not stay with her. She stepped back fast. Her hand went to her neck. The crystal felt hot. What? She whispered. Ethan did not see. He kept working. Night came on the station. Lights dimmed. Ethan went to the observation deck. It was empty. He liked quiet places. He stood at the big window. Stars moved slow. He thought about home, Earth, blue sky, green trees, his old workshop. He felt tired, but good. Then he heard steps. Lyra came in. No guards. She stopped, far from him. You should not be here, she said. Ethan turned. It is open to all. She walked closer. Her robe made no sound. I feel it, she said. The core. It listens to you. Ethan looked confused. What core? She touched the crystal on her neck. This. It is our power, our blood. It never goes to others. Never. Ethan looked at it. The crystal glowed soft, blue, then green, then gold. Colors he never saw before. I did not touch it, he said. You were near it, Lyra said. When you fixed the shield console, your hand brushed the case. Ethan remembered. Yes, a small box near the controls. He moved it. I did not mean to, he said. Lyra's voice shook a little. It should reject you. Kill you maybe, but it does not. She stepped closer. Her silver eyes looked deep into his. Something in you calls it. Ethan felt strange, warm, like electricity in his arms. I do not understand, he said. Lyra reached out. She touched his hand. Cold fingers, hard skin. The crystal flashed bright. Ethan felt a shock. Not pain, power. Like a door opened in his head. He saw flashes, stars, machines, energy lines, everything connected. Lyra pulled her hand back fast. She looked scared. No, she said, this cannot be. The crystal dimmed, but not for her. For Ethan, it glowed stronger. She turned away. Stay away from me, human. She left fast. Ethan stood alone. His hand tingled. He looked at the stars. Something was different now, inside him. Something big. Something she could not control. He did not smile, but he felt it. The fire inside grew. The next day, on Harmony Point, felt different. The station hummed with new energy. Workers moved faster. Talks in the halls were louder. Humans walked with small smiles. Aliens watched them more carefully now. Ethan Brooks woke early. He felt strange. His body was the same, but his mind raced. Colors seemed brighter, sounds sharper. He looked at his hands. They looked normal. But when he closed his eyes, he saw thin lines of light everywhere, like hidden wires in the air. He shook his head. Maybe he was tired. He went to the engineering bay on the Aurora Dawn. He wanted to check the drones, make sure they were ready. When he entered, he saw the small crystal box on his workbench, the one he moved during the repair, the box that held the Nexus core. It was open now. No one had closed it after the work. Ethan reached to shut it. His fingers brushed the crystal inside. The world exploded in light. Inside his head. He fell to his knees. His breath stopped for a second. Then came a rush, like cool water in his veins, like fire in his bones. Pictures flashed fast, old memories of Earth. Storms he survived as a boy, machines he built with his father, falls he took and got up from. Every time he failed and tried again. Then new things, not his memories, alien ones, vast ships, purple skies, battles with light and shadow. A long line of Vexari royals holding the same crystal, each one strong, each one in control. But now the control slipped. The crystal sang, not with sound, with feeling. It called to him. It said his name without words. Ethan stood up slow. His hands shook, but not from fear, from power. He looked at the crystal. It glowed steady gold now, not the colors it showed before. He felt it connect, like a new heart beating next to the old one. He whispered, "What are you doing to me?" No answer came, but he knew. The core had chosen. Not because he was special, because he was human. Because humans carried something the Vexari never needed to grow. Raw will, endless fixing, the habit of getting back up. Ethan closed the box, but the connection stayed. It did not need touch anymore. He left the bay. He needed air. He walked the long halls of the station. Princess Lyra Voss felt it at the same moment. She sat in her room, eating small glowing fruits from her home world. Her guards stood outside. The crystal on her neck burned, not hot like fire, hot like anger, like loss. She dropped the fruit. It rolled on the floor. She stood fast. Her robe fell open a little. She did not care. She touched the crystal. It did not answer her. It pulled away, like a child running to another parent. Her voice cracked. She tried to call the power. Just a small thing. Make the light in the room brighter. Nothing big. The light dimmed instead. She tried again, harder. The room went dark for a second, then came back weak. Lyra felt weak too. Her legs shook. She sat on the edge of her bed. She had never felt this, not in all her years, not since she was a child and the core first bonded to her. She whispered to it, "Come back. You are mine." Nothing. She stood again. She walked out. Guards followed. She did not speak to them. She went straight to the human ship. She did not ask permission. She walked in like she owned it. Crew members stopped. They stared. No one stopped her. They knew who she was. She found Ethan in a small common room. He sat alone, drinking water, looking at nothing. Lyra stopped in the door. "You," she said. Ethan looked up, calm, but his eyes looked different. Deeper. "What happened?" she asked. Ethan stood slow. "I do not know all of it, but the core, it touched me, and now it stays." Lyra stepped closer. "It cannot stay. It belongs to Vexari blood, to my line." Ethan looked at her neck. The crystal was dull now, almost gray. "It doesn't think like that," he said. "It feels something in me, something you do not have." Lyra laughed, but the laugh was weak. "What? Your soft skin? Your short life?" Ethan shook his head. "No, the way we keep going, When things break, we do not throw them away. We fix them. When we fall, we stand. When the world says stop, we say no. Lyra's silver eyes narrowed. That is not power. That is stubborn. Maybe, Ethan said, but it woke something. He lifted his hand. He did not mean to show off, but the air around his fingers moved. Small sparks danced, blue, then white. Lyra stepped back. Stop that. The sparks stopped. I did not mean to, he said. It just happens. Lyra felt cold fear now. Real fear. She tried again. She reached with her mind, called the core hard. The crystal flashed once, then it sent pain back to her, sharp, like needles in her head. She cried out, fell to one knee. Ethan moved forward. Are you hurt? She pushed him away. Do not touch me. But when her hand met his arm, the crystal flashed again, this time gold, bright. Lyra felt her own power drain, like water leaving a cup. It went to him. She pulled back, breathing hard. You steal it, she said. No, Ethan answered. It gives, because you push. When you push, it pushes back to me. Lyra stood, shaking. This is impossible. Ethan looked sad, not angry. I did not ask for this. Lyra stared at him. For the first time, she saw him not as small, as something else, something dangerous. She turned. This is not over. She left fast. Guards followed. They looked confused. Ethan sat again. He felt tired, but strong too. He looked at his hands. No sparks now, but he knew they could come. Later that day, the station had more trouble. A power core in the lower levels failed. Not from asteroids, from age. Old metal cracked. Energy leaked. Radiation started. The Vexari team went down. They used their tools, glowing fields, crystal seals. But the leak grew. They called for help. Ethan went. He did not wait for orders. In the dark lower level, lights flickered red. Air smelled hot. Vexari workers tried to close the crack. Their seals broke. The energy burned their hands. Ethan pushed through. Let me see, he said. They moved away. Some angry, some scared. Ethan looked at the crack. Small, but deadly. He remembered an old Earth trick. Not fancy, just smart. He took a metal plate from the wall. Simple steel. He bent it with his hands. Stronger now. Easier. He placed it over the crack. Then he used his new feeling, the power inside. He pushed energy, not to fight, to hold, like glue made of light. The plate stuck. The leak stopped. The radiation dropped. The workers stared. One Vexari said, How? Ethan wiped his face. I just asked it to stay. They did not understand, but they saw. Words spread fast. Lyra heard it in her room. She sat alone. The crystal on her neck was almost black now. She tried one more time, called her full power, everything she had. The room shook, lights exploded, but the power did not come to her. It rushed out, through the walls, to the lower levels, to Ethan. Down below, Ethan felt it, a wave, strong. He stood taller. The workers saw his eyes glow soft gold for a second. Then it faded. Ethan looked at them. It is fixed. They nodded. No words. Lyra felt empty, her power gone. Not all, but most. She fell to the floor. Tears came, first time in many years. She whispered, What have I done? She mocked him, laughed at him. Now he held something she could not take back, something she could not control. And it grew stronger, every minute. The Harmony Point station felt tense now. Everyone knew something big had changed. Whispers filled the halls. Humans spoke quietly about Ethan. Aliens spoke about the princess. No one laughed anymore. Princess Lyra Voss stayed in her room most of the day. She did not eat. She did not speak to her guards. She sat on the floor with her back against the wall. The crystal on her neck hung dark and cold, like a dead stone. She tried many times to call the power back. Each time hurt more. Her head ached. Her hands shook. She felt empty inside, like part of her soul had left. She stood up once, walked to the mirror, looked at her face. The shining skin looked dull. The silver eyes looked tired. She touched the crystal. "Please," she whispered, "come back." Nothing answered. She made a decision. She could not wait longer. She had to face him. Lyra left her room. Guards tried to follow. She waved them away. "I go alone." Worried looks on their faces. She walked through the station, past workers, past machines, past humans who stared but said nothing. She found Ethan in the main repair bay. He worked on a broken air system. His hands moved fast. Tools clicked. No one helped him. Others watched from far. Lyra stopped at the door. She watched him for a moment. He looked the same. Simple clothes, calm face. But something was different. The air around him felt heavy, like it listened to him. She stepped inside. Ethan Brooks. He turned, put down the tool, wiped his hands on a cloth. "Princess." She walked closer, stopped a few steps away. "We must talk. Now. Alone." Ethan looked around. The other workers left quietly. The bay became empty. Only machines hummed soft. Ethan nodded. "Okay." Lyra spoke first. Her voice was low, not angry, not cold. Something else. "Give it back." Ethan looked at her neck. The crystal stayed dark. "I cannot give what I did not take." She stepped closer. "You have it. I feel it leave me every second. My strength, my control. It goes to you." Ethan shook his head slow. "It does not go because I want it. It goes because you fight it." Lyra's eyes flashed. "Fight? It is mine, my blood, my right." Ethan stayed calm. "Maybe it was, but now it sees something else, something it likes more." Lyra laughed, short, bitter. "What? Your weak body? Your short life? Your broken toys?" Ethan looked straight at her. "No, my choice. To keep going, to not break when things go wrong. You were born with power. You never had to earn it. We have nothing at first. So we build, we fail, we try again. That is what the core wants now." Lyra felt anger rise. She lifted her hand, tried to push power at him. Just a small wave, to show who was stronger. The wave came, but it turned. It bent back, hit her instead. She gasped, fell back one step. Pain shot through her arm. Ethan did not move. "Stop trying to force it. Every time you push, it pulls harder to me." Lyra breathed hard. "You enjoy this? Seeing me weak?" "No," Ethan said. "I do not want you weak. I want peace for all of us." She stared at him. For the first time she really looked. Not at the small human, at the man who saved the station, who fixed things without pride, who did not laugh when she fell. She spoke softer. "What do you feel when it comes to you?" Ethan thought for a second. "Like everything connects. Machines, stars, people. I see how they work, how to fix them, how to make them better. And I feel strong. Not to hurt, to help." Lyra looked down. "I never felt that. I felt only control, power over others." Ethan said nothing. She stepped closer again, close enough to touch. "Show me," she said. "Show you what?" "The power. In you. Let me feel it. Just once." Ethan hesitated. Then he lifted his hand slow, palm up. He did not push, he just opened. A soft gold light came from his skin. Warm, not hot, like sunlight through leaves. Lyra reached out, touched the light with one finger. The crystal on her neck flashed once, bright, then dim again. She felt it, not her power, his, strong, steady, patient. Tears came to her silver eyes. She pulled her hand back. "I cannot take it," she said. "Even if I wanted, it will not come." Ethan lowered his hand. The light faded. "It does not hate you," he said. "It just found something new." Lyra wiped her face. "What now?" Ethan looked around the bay. "We've fixed the station, together. No more fighting, no more mockery." Lyra nodded slow. "I cannot command anymore. Not like before. My people will see. They will question me." Ethan said, "Then let them see truth. That humans are not small, not weak, just different." She looked at him long. "You could take more. You could take everything. Why do you not?" Ethan smiled small, first time. "Because that is not us. We do not want to rule. We want to live, and help others live." Lyra felt something break inside. Not bad, good, like ice melting. She turned to leave, then stopped. "Come with me," she said, "to the Concord Hall, now." Ethan followed. The big meeting room was full. Aliens from many races, humans too. Captain Hayes stood near the front. They entered together, all eyes turned. Lyra walked to the center, Ethan behind her. She spoke loud, clear. "I was wrong." Silence came. "I mocked the humans. I called them weak, small, unworthy. I was proud. I thought Vexari were above all." She looked at Ethan. "But this human saved the station, not with great power, with simple work, with will, and now the Nexus core has chosen him, not me." Gasps came from the Vexari side. Lyra touched the dark crystal. "It no longer answers only to me. When I try to take, it goes to him. He holds something I cannot control." She looked at the Concord leader. "I ask for new terms. Humans are equals. They deserve place here, respect, alliance." Kale, the four-armed leader, looked surprised. "And you, princess, what do you want?" Lyra looked at Ethan again. "I want to learn, from him, from them." Ethan stepped forward. "We do not want war. We want friends. We will share what we know, fix what is broken, build what is needed, together." The room was quiet. Then slow claps started. First humans, then others. Lyra stepped back. Let Ethan stand in front. A Vexari guard stood up. "Princess, this is shame." Lyra turned to him. "No, this is truth." The guard sat down, quiet. More talks happened. Agreements, plans, but Ethan and Lyra stood side by side, not as enemies, not as master and servant, as something new. Later, in a quiet hall, Lyra spoke to Ethan alone. "I hated you at first." "I know," he said. "Now, I do not." Ethan nodded. "Good." She touched the crystal one last time. "It still listens to you most, but sometimes it lets me feel a little, through you." Ethan smiled. "Then use it well." She looked out a window. Stars shone bright. "You woke something in me too," she said. "Not power, understanding." Ethan said nothing, just looked at the stars with her. The balance had changed, not because one side won, because one side refused to lose. The days after the big meeting felt calm on Harmony Point. The station repaired itself slowly. New lights shone brighter. Air flowed clean. People from different races worked side by side. No one shouted. No one mocked. They just did the work. Ethan Brooks spent most time in the engineering areas. He taught humans and aliens together. He showed simple ways to fix things, how to bend metal without breaking it, how to seal leaks with basic tools, how to make weak parts strong again. Aliens listened now. They asked questions. They tried his methods. Some worked better than their old ways. Princess Lyra Voss did not hide in her room anymore. She walked the halls openly. Her robe looked simpler now. No heavy jewels, no tall guards always behind her. She carried only the dark crystal on her neck. It never glowed bright for her again, but sometimes it warmed a little, like a quiet hello. She came to Ethan one morning, in the main workshop. He repaired a small drone. His hands moved, sure and slow. She stood near the door until he looked up. Ethan. He nodded. Lyra. She stepped closer. No title, no princess, just her name. I want to learn more, not as a royal, as me. Ethan put the tool down. What do you want to learn? Everything you know, the human way, not power, the other things, how you think, how you keep going. Ethan thought for a moment. Then he smiled small. Okay, come help me with this drone. Lyra looked surprised. Then she moved next to him. Her tall body bent low. Her crystal fingers touched the small machine careful. Ethan showed her step by step how to open the panel, how to clean the dust, how to reconnect the tiny wires. She listened. She copied him. Her hands shook at first, not from weakness. From not being used to small, patient work. When the drone flew again, smooth and quiet, Lyra stared at it. I did that, she said soft. You helped, Ethan said. That is enough. They worked together many days. Lyra learned fast. She stopped giving orders. She started asking, is this right? What if we try this? Ethan answered simple, never proud, never angry. One evening they sat on the observation deck. Stars moved slow outside the big window. The station lights were low. Lyra spoke first. I thought humans were nothing, fleeting, weak. I laughed because I was afraid. Ethan looked at her. Afraid of what? Of not being the strongest. My people taught me that strength is everything. Control everything. If you lose control, you lose yourself. Ethan nodded slow. We learned different. On Earth, nothing stays the same. Weather changes, ground shakes, people fight. We cannot control it all. So we learn to live with it. To fix what we can. To stand when we cannot. Lyra touched the crystal. This thing, it still feels you more than me. But now it lets small pieces come back. When I am calm. When I do not demand. Ethan looked at the stars. Maybe that is how it should be. Not one person owns it. It moves where it is needed. Lyra turned to him. The Concord made the decision today. Humans are full members now. Trade, travel, knowledge sharing. No more tests, no more doubts. Ethan said nothing, just looked out. Lyra continued. They want you to speak, to explain human strength. Not weapons, not ships, the real strength. Ethan shook his head. I am not good at speeches. You do not need fancy words, Lyra said. Just truth. The next day the big hall was full again. More aliens came than before. They wanted to see, to hear. Ethan stood in the center. Simple gray uniform. No crown, no robe. He spoke quiet, but clear. Everyone heard. We come from a hard place. Earth is beautiful but cruel. It gives nothing free. We learn to take small steps, to fail and stand again, to share what we fix. That is all. He looked around. We do not want to rule you. We do not want your power. We want friends. We want to build together. Because alone, nothing lasts long. Silence came first. Then slow claps. then louder. Even Vexari clapped, slow at first, then strong. Lyra stood near the side. She clapped too. Her silver eyes shone wet. After the speech, many came to Ethan, asked questions, shook his hand, thanked him. Lyra waited until the crowd left. She walked to him. You did well. Ethan smiled tired. I just said what is true. They walked back to the Aurora Dawn together. The ship looked small next to alien ones, but it felt warm, like home. In the engineering bay, Ethan sat at his workbench, quiet. After a while, she spoke. I return to my world soon. My people need to hear this too. Not just words, changes. Ethan nodded. Will they listen? Some will not, but others will. I will show them, by doing, not commanding. She touched the crystal again. It still links us, not strong like before, but enough. If I need help, I can feel you, far away. Ethan looked at her. And if you need, call. I will answer. Lyra stood. Thank you, Ethan Brooks, for not breaking me when you could. Ethan stood too. Thank you for seeing me, not as small, as equal. They looked at each other long. No words needed. Lyra turned to leave. At the door she stopped. One more thing. Ethan waited. I was wrong to mock you. I see now. You woke something in me. Not the core. Something better. Hope. She left. He looked at the stars, through the small window. He felt the core inside him. Warm, steady, not loud, not wild, just there, like a friend. He thought about Earth, about home, about the workshop he left behind, about the people waiting. He smiled real now. Humanity did not need to shout, did not need to conquer. It just needed to keep going, to fix, to build, to stand. And sometimes, when the galaxy looked down, humanity looked back. Quiet, calm, unbreakable. The Aurora Dawn prepared to leave. Engines hummed soft. Crew said goodbye to new friends. Ethan stood on the bridge with Captain Hayes. Ready? The captain asked. Ethan nodded. Ready. The ship pulled away slow. Harmony Point grew small behind them. Far away on her own ship, Lyra Voss watched the same view. The small human ship moving toward the stars. She touched the crystal. It glowed soft gold. Just for a moment, she whispered, Go well, little engineer. Then she turned to her crew. Set course for home. We have much to change. The stars stretched long. Ships flew different ways. But something stayed connected. Not by chains, not by force, by choice, by respect, by the simple truth that no one controls everything. And the strongest thing of all is refusing to be controlled.